You can't catch me on the run, cause I'm gone, yeah. I blaze trails, set fire to what's behind me. No, I'm never looking back, I'm on the run. I could only ever be what I'm made to be. Feels good when I'm living on the edge. Watch me now, roll like thunder, gonna shake the ground. Can't stop me now, I don't give up and I won't back down. I'm a force of nature, can't be contained. I got a line there running all through my veins. Watch me now, watch me now.
Hi, my name is Wyatt Milam, and I'm from Canova, West Virginia. When I'm back home in Canova, you will find me at my local Parmar store.
We had that golden boot pride at Parmar. There are literally hundreds of Parmar stores in West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, and Pennsylvania, and even more on the way. Download the Parmar app to save even more. And whether it's food, gas, groceries, or whatever, we have you covered at Parmar. West Virginia proud and ready to serve you.
And if there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon.
Yes, hello and welcome. I'm the Wolfman, Dale Wolfley, and this is the Wolfman's Call. It is, Thursday, June 8th, and my sidekick over here for the last day or so has been Maverick Wolfley, Maverick Ranger Wolfley, who yesterday we had a really good time talking about your ways and your moving and moving on up through football for the last 20 years of your life. So, my son, how you doing and how you enjoying being my sidekick?
I'm thriving right now.
You're thriving?
Yeah, I'm thriving.
Can you explain what thriving means?
It means I'm doing excellent.
It means you're doing excellent. Well, I'm so glad you're doing excellent. I'm glad you can expound upon that because we're going to need you to do it. Because, hey, guess what we're at? Where are we at, Maverick? Go ahead.
We're at
Hey, yep, we're there. And what are we here for?
We are here for the charity event. Well, that was yesterday.
That was yesterday.
We're here
Today is the Expo, Maverick, for Parmar stores. And we have thousands of vendors here. And guess what? We're booth number 1. We want to thank Parmar stores for allowing us to be booth number 1 because it's pretty cool. But before we get into all of this, I want to just go ahead and talk about something that people have been saying about the Mountaineers. And I want to get into this. We did the charity yesterday. We have the expo today, and we're going to talk about Parmar stores and all this stuff.
Okay, everybody listen up.
Okay,
We've got our first winner to
the first winner. You hear that?
The money machine and the laughing
Hang on.
peanut. I need Rick Lewis to head over that way.
All right, Rick Lewis is a winner. We're out there. This is so much fun. All these people, all these different products for the Parmar stores. I'm looking over here. Look at this. This is good. Reno, you see this? Reno, look at you, man. Go ahead and span that camera out so they can see it. Go ahead, give it a shot. There you go. Look at it all the way down. Oh, it's an expo, baby. We're booth number 1, the Wolfman's Call. All right, so we're back now. Reno, you've been hired again, so we appreciate it. Reno's over here, Champion Industries, Chapman Printing, and Stationaires. The number 1 office supply in West Virginia, always in stock. That's right. And Reno actually went out with us to see, what concert we see last night? Don Felder. Rock and Roll Hall of Famer. He was pretty amazing, was he not? Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Okay, so.
75 years old.
Was he 75 years old? You got to talk up, please, okay? Because everybody's saying you got to talk louder. See, that wasn't louder. That was not louder.
How loud?
Yeah, that's better. Yes, that's better. All right, so I got to get this off my chest. Talking about Mountaineer football, people are like, well, if you're saying that this team is going to be bad. And so he said, he can't hear you, Matt. That's what they're telling me. They can't hear you. So let's see, we got to go up here. Maybe you can hear that. Go ahead, talk more. I mean, you're loud in my ears.
Yeah, I can hear myself. So
It says your mic is not on. I don't know. So anyways, we'll have to see what's you better check it out. I can hear you in my ears. I don't know what the problem is, but I'll just talk then. So anyways, here we are talking about the Mountaineers. And people are saying, well, why are you saying that this team's going to be bad? I am not saying this team is going to be bad. People are misunderstanding me. I am telling you the facts. And what the facts are the facts. And if you can't deal with facts, then you're not dealing in reality. Because the facts are of where we're at. I'm saying if you don't do this, if you don't do that, I know football because I coached it, I played it, I lived it all my life. I've been in football all my life. And I'm not saying this team is going to be bad. I stand by my young brothers. But this team also has got challenges. And they're not picked last by Athlon and all these other places that are picking them for no reason. I don't believe that. But what I believe is you got to go ahead and you got to develop these players. You got to get them in. There's a problem. You lose 22 guys and you only bring 14 in.
Rick just walked away with
All right?
a lot of money.
That's what I'm saying. You go ahead, you lose 22, you only bring 14 in. That's a fact. That's a challenge.
To get in
When
the
you-
money machine, and that
Hang on.
is Jerry with store number 60. Head that way.
Jerry, all right. So this is what I'm trying to say to you whatsoever, okay, is if you bring in 14 and you only bring 5 Power 5 guys and the other guys are coming from FCS or G5, that's a problem. That's a problem. You have to go ahead and meet that challenge. I'm not saying they're going to be bad. What I'm telling you is it's a challenge. Listen, if you can't understand that, and I'm sorry, and if you can't understand the fact that a game simulation by AI, okay, is not the real deal to when you got the actual living, breathing Jimmys and Joes. So what I'm saying, that's all I'm just saying. That's what it is. And I don't think your mic is working. Come on over here. See, you can jump in here. Come on over here. We'll move over. All right, go ahead, talk this way. Hey, we're at the Parmar Stores Expo. They can't hear Maverick on his mic, so go ahead and talk.
can you hear me now?
Talk louder.
Is that better? Can anybody hear me now? I can't hear myself.
How about this, sir? Yeah, how about, can you hear that? Is that better?
Is that better for anyone else? Not better.
So he needs the microphone here like this. I mean, I don't know why I'm talking right there, but that's it. So what do you say about that, Maverick? Reno, can we hear him or not?
I mean, I definitely think with, with last year and everything, what people are saying about the media and everything, I do think
You can hear, but I don't know if they can. You got to listen on the phone. Go ahead.
I think there is a big challenge, doubting the Mountaineers. So I definitely agree with you. I think that some of the guys that they've brought in, like you're saying, it's not exactly up to what people would expect. So, they do have a big challenge, and that doesn't mean, like you said, you're not talking bad on them or anything. You're supporting them. It's like the Mountaineers and your younger brothers.
You can't hear him? Yeah, keep talking in here. Well, listen, man, I don't know what the problem is, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move this on down. We're going to play a little bit, got a big surprise for you. We're going to play a little bit of Three Wolves of Football. I'm sorry, the technology is not working right now, but we are at the Parmar Expo, and this is the WolfMan's call. Got something cool for you. I got the Three Wolves of Football. Let's get a taste of that. And should I finish up? Is there anything else I need to finish up with what I said there? No, they can't hear you anyways. What's that? The what?
He's talking about the guitar pick from last night.
Oh, the guitar pick. Okay, before we go. All right, so listen, come on over here and talk into it.
So last night when we were at the, I can't remember what building we were in, but it was somewhere downtown Marietta, and Don Felder, I can't remember if it was Felder or Felderman, but anyways, the lead guitarist for the Eagles for so many years was playing and stuff, and then when he started playing Hotel California, the very last song. I went down to the front of the stage. He started tossing out the picks that he used throughout the show, and then I had to jump up to get one. So
you jumped up did you beat up a woman?
no, I didn't beat up a woman, Dad.
No, okay. Did you push one aside?
No, I just jumped over her. She's taller. I said I wanted it more.
Well, he did have like 20 picks he was giving out, guitar picks.
Yeah.
So you got one of them.
There's like 10 of them, yeah, he handed out. I didn't know how many he was going to carry, so I was like, oh, crap, because he started at the other end, and I didn't think I was going to get one, but then he tossed it, and I reached up, and I grabbed it. And then the lady wasn't too happy, but,
Okay. Well, so, again, we are at the Parmar Expo. Reno showed you all the way down. We got thousands of vendors right here. We're live. Yesterday we had the Parmar Golf Charity event, and it was a big success, giving away close to $200,000 for students. Just something big. But let's go ahead. Now, listen, I want to talk about this. Is the Three Wolves of Football. This is myself and my two brothers. Okay, this is an episode number 11, and I think it's cool, and it's called All Pro Commando. I think if you watch it, you'll enjoy it because it's pretty cool. What did you think of All Pro Commando? Remember that one?
I mean, all your guys' shows, I enjoy it because it's like when we're sitting up.
Are you just saying it because that's your uncle and your father?
Well, yes and no.
Yes and no.
I haven't watched every single one of them, but I've watched majority of them.
You haven't watched every single one?
No, I'm a working man too, Dad. I got things to do,
You work it? All right. Well, listen, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play this. And I don't understand. I'm sorry about Maverick's microphone. My tech guy, he's about to ready to get fired. Reno, you're fired again. All right, you're fired. There we go. Three Wolves of Football. We'll jump in here in 15 minutes and come back, see if we don't get any better. Here we go. Hello, friends. On this very, very special day, a happy Thanksgiving to you from the Three Wolves of Football, the boys from Orchard Park, the Outsiders. And I'm the Wolfman, Dale Wolfley. And as you see here, the one that looks like he's a biker, Frank Wolfley, or Derry boy. How are you doing, Derry?
Doing great.
All right. And of course, he's already ready to go. And his chopper, that's a chopper right there. You got Pony Boy. And this would not be the first time, Rose, that we have been on a motorcycle, especially a Harley. So all that we're all thinking about cruising on down the road on this very happy Thanksgiving. And for talking about happy Thanksgiving, Derry, you're the oldest brother, and always when we are in our family gatherings, whether it be our uncles, our grandfathers at the time, we always had one to the eldest and the lead off. So we're going to have you lead off, and you tell us what you're thinking about this Thanksgiving and what you're thankful for.
There's so much to be thankful for, fellas, and I know you agree with me totally. We are just so grateful for our families, for our children, for the health of our children, for the health of our families, our extended family. I went on the air today and I was really trying to contemplate just what do I want to say? What am I grateful for? And it always starts with this. I'm grateful to the Lord Jesus Christ for his sacrifice on the cross, that he would die for somebody like myself. And it always starts with sheer humility and acknowledging Jesus as my Savior. And I know that you guys feel the same way. And then it goes to thinking about the years that we have spent together around Thanksgiving tables when we were young over at Grandma Palmer's, and nobody had Grandma and Grandpa Palmer. The best thing, the most incredible memory I have was watching Grandpa and Grandma Palmer not doing things, watching a Buffalo Sabres hockey game together. And Grandma Palmer, all 4'10" and 90 pounds of her, would say, hit that guy.
It's so true.
And it's so true. So yeah, there are so many Thanksgiving memories and memories surrounding Thanksgiving that just pour out. And I just want you two to know that I love you dearly and your families and your clan. And just I am just so grateful for all the things that we have.
Pony Boy.
Man, I just want to follow that up by saying, Craig, Jesus is Lord.
Amen.
You're right, brother. Thank you for that. There is no doubt about it. And then I think, of course, of our family and the family we were raised in. What most people don't understand is we basically were Amish, except we drove cars and used electricity. I mean, right or wrong, boys. I mean, our family, truly amazing to grow up in the family that we did. I thank God for the family
Amen.
that I was raised in, and the godly people that Grandpa Palmer, for the crying out loud, Grandma Palmer as well. Just surrounded growing up by wonderful people and strong people and loving people. I'm so grateful for that, so thankful for that.
Absolutely. And I'll just finish up with this, is that the family thing, the structure of the family, the structure that we're trying to give out to our family members now, the union that we have. Hopefully that Wolfley compound, when we bring them all up there, is going to keep flowing, man. And a special thankful for a wonderful mother, such Soupy, of course. And I'll tell you what, with you guys covered everything else, because I'm right there with you. I am so thankful that we are doing this show together, because it's the first time we've been working together professionally. And it has been a blessing of blessings.
Amen.
For myself, anyways. You guys can speak for yourself. But for me, it has been.
I think for all of us, you speak for all of us on that.
Yes.
No doubt about it.
Okay.
All right, let's hit it and get it, baby. What do we got?
We are going to move, and this is actually a little bit of you today there, Derry, thinking about
The Locker Room with Wolf and Starks on ESPN Pittsburgh and Steelers Nation Radio.
Well, indeed, here we are heading into the last segment here, Max. I got to tell you, I'm enjoying it because I'm almost tasting turkey right now. It's in my gourd, it's in my brain, and I'm like fantasizing about the turkeys.
Okay, so when I was watching that, I'm like, I gotta record this. Okay, what is in a Craig Wolfley fantasy?
Oh, man, you got to have the white meat. You got to have the dark meat. You got to have the stuffing. You got to have the cranberry. You got to have the gravy. Look, one of the things I went back to the 1621 harvest meal that the Wampanoag Indians shared with the Pilgrims, okay? Guess what was not on the menu? They got 2 documents that talk about what was on the menu, and on neither one was turkey. There's no turkey. There's no gravy, right? Because they had no flour mills in 1621 over in the Americas, right? There's no gadzooks. There's no the sweet potato casserole, because tuberous roots hadn't come from the Caribbean yet, and there was no potatoes because they hadn't come up from South America. What kind of Thanksgiving meal was that?
Honestly, they had to have something good there, Craig. Honestly.
Okay, here, I'll give you something. No, I'm going to ask you two, all right?
Yeah.
They had lobster. They had shellfish. Okay. But you know what else they had? Eel. Oh, yeah, pass over the eel. Please, let me have the eel and some cranberry sauce. Let me have some eel and whatever. No.
Yes,
what a horrible
that
thing
is
to
bad.
have.
You got to have gravy, too. If you don't have gravy for Thanksgiving, what are you doing? I mean, honestly, what are you doing?
I wonder how gravy on eel would taste. Regardless, I will say, once again, another Wolfley moment to miss the idea of what Thanksgiving's about.
But tell me right now, this is not a great holiday. I mean, think about it. Thanksgiving is so cool because you're talking about Thursday, Friday, Saturday, into the weekend, of course. You're talking about, for some people, a 4-day weekend, man. How cool is that right there?
Football.
And football.
Yes.
It's guys, it's faith, it's family, it's food, and it's football, man. The 4 apps are there and Thanksgiving, man.
Let me just say this right now. Okay. I told Faith, I said, I'm going to eat so much turkey and be so tryptophan out, you might have to Narcan me, okay, to bring me back. I'm going to be out on the couch tomorrow, baby.
Oh, my goodness.
One thing I want to say before we go to the next subject, which is going to be about food, but the next subject, Steve Newberry, Ryan, your former teammate of yours.
Noobs.
Yeah. He said that him and his wife was actually around listening to the podcast, and when he was listening to it, she said, is that all they do is talk about food? True story. So,
let me think. Yeah, a lot of it.
There you go. Hey, and you know what, Terry, I want you to talk about this because I think this is so special, and you and Tunch have always had a big part here in Light of Life, and you
Oh,
can
yeah.
see that they prepare 2,000 meals for their lunches for Thanksgiving with 100 plus volunteers. They're there every single day for the homeless. They're feeding, they're sheltering, and they're just doing great things in the city of Pittsburgh.
Light of Life has been serving the people on the north side and all of Pittsburgh in the area for over 60 years. They have been there for all the transients, for the addicted, for the mentally ill, for people who are suffering. And they have been a transformational point for people who have gone through the program and graduated. They have a graduation program, and they just do marvelous things. And it's all based on the fact of what Jesus does. The transformation. They walk through the doors, and there's transformation that occurs. I just can't say enough about the people there. Matter of fact, I'll be down there tomorrow doing a little bit of serving up and everything else, just because it's just so wonderful. When I first went there in the late 80s, and Tunch, God bless him, our brother Tunch, we all have been involved with charities, and you say, they all have valid stuff. They're all, they have great stuff they do. And I remember telling Tunch, with these charities, they get some great dinners. And he goes, it's not always about the food, okay? He said, come on down. You go through the doors of Light Life. It'll change your worldview forever. Men, it does. It does. Yeah. And you see people who had no hope, suddenly they have hope. People who were hanging on by a thread, now they found a knot to hang on to. And I love that. I love they pour life through the hands and feet of Jesus on the north side. So, yeah, I love the place.
Okay, Mav, what did you think of that so far? The Three Wolves of Football. I'll be coming back to you starting in August. We did all of one season last year. We started the first week of the season, and this year we're going to be going beginning of August, right when training camp starts. Maybe that's even the end of July. Not sure. What do you think?
I think it'll be exciting. Obviously, Uncle Craig over there talking about food all the time. Not much changes from when, we're sitting there working out or doing something. Well, I'm working out. He's sitting.
You said yesterday he's a better athlete.
Winner to enter the
yeah, I mean, when I snap to him and he catches those balls every day, we snap like 70 balls every day we go to work out. And we do 50 just nonstop, and then we'll do 10 with dropbacks and everything, and he catches them, and he calls it his superior athletic ability. It's come a long way. He's learned how to catch the ball. He used to have some stone hands.
Let me ask you a question. You said you do 70 snaps, 50 in a row?
Yeah.
Okay, do you ever like all the oxygen and like when you go down there to snap, do you get lightheaded?
No.
That doesn't bother you? It doesn't cut off the air supply?
I mean, I'm not like hanging down there for a long time. It's just a second or two.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Why do you think the Three Wolves is cool? I mean, besides being your uncles and your pops.
I guess as an outside perspective, it would be, somebody that loves football. As somebody that loves football, they know the name Wolfley, if they were around when they were playing and stuff. And then, you guys have a lot of experience between you guys. I mean, Uncle Ron and Uncle Craig, they got 20 plus years of experience in the NFL, and then you guys all have your college experience, and you've been around the game, you've coached, and you played as well. So there's just a lot of knowledge, and you guys are just funny. So
we're funny.
Yeah, it's just like just talking chop,
Yeah, no, I think funny's a pretty good description of it. I think we were funny growing up, but your aunts and your grandmother are funnier than we are. I mean, your Aunt Linda, your Aunt Joy. I mean.
Aunt Linda is hilarious. Aunt Joy is hilarious too. It's a different type of comedy, and it's a different type of comedy.
Well, let me say this. All right, so I love the Three Wolves of Football because usually I don't get to hang out with my brothers. Ron's in Phoenix, Uncle Pony's in Phoenix, and Derry's in Pittsburgh, and I'm in Morgantown. And this really is an opportunity for us guys to come together. And we don't always agree upon the same thing. We don't always agree. Like, it's not carbon copy. Sometimes they go ahead and they disagree with me, which I can't believe they do. I can't believe people disagree with me.
You're not always right.
Wait a minute. No. Listen, I'm not always right in life, but usually when it comes to football, I got a pretty good idea. Is that true or not? Go ahead.
I think for the most part you've always been right. I can't remember any instances, maybe a few, I'll have to dig deep in the memory for those, and I will definitely be back to you guys to let you guys know he's not always right.
All right, spoken truth. I'm not here to guide you. I will tell you this Celsius, it's sparkling wild berry. It's part of all the vendors here for Parmar, their expo. I don't want to call it a national expo, but Parmar Stores is now in 5 states, over 200 plus stores. We talked about them giving to the education. We're doing this. They are a big sponsor. That's why we've been here yesterday and today for the expo. Yesterday was the golf charity out there in Marietta, Ohio. We're here. Hey, Marietta, Ohio, this is a nice college.
Yeah. This is the first time I've ever been here. I have a buddy that goes here that I play football with, Aaron Alvarez. I don't know if he's still here. I believe he still is, but yeah, it's I haven't been here maybe since we played basketball tournaments in Parkersburg, and we probably had a gym because I remember we had to cross.
Really? Okay.
Play somewhere here.
I don't remember going to Marietta, but I see this, and this is very nice right here. And always love going to Parkersburg when I can. So anytime I get a chance to do that, it was a place called J.P. Henry's. Good food.
Yeah.
Down in Parkersburg. Remember J.P. Henry's, right?
Oh yeah, when we passed the exit.
Yeah, well, I mean
Parkersburg has the pizza, their pizza place, right? That's what it's called, pizza place.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah,
they're good pizza.
Well, I know what we're going after.
Yeah, about it. Okay, well, Maverick, let's go ahead and talk now about a little bit more football. Yesterday, again, we're having the same mic issues, which we couldn't figure out, but let's just finish this adult time of your pro, what you want to do, because I don't think the people really heard it. So you got to the mini camp, the Steelers, you're waiting to hear from other NFL teams, and you're just waiting. It could be the XFL, the draft is coming up, so go ahead.
Yeah, so the XFL draft is coming up the 15th. I'm not exactly sure how it works, to be honest, because it's really their first draft. I know they had a draft before when they played, but I didn't really pay attention to the process at the time because I was in college and I wasn't really worried about it. So I don't know if it works like the NFL, if they're going to have a place where they have it or what, but I'm just hoping to get a call from someone. And then just
you get nervous?
No, there's some loud
popping
noises. You can't hear loud noises these days and freak
All
out.
right, that's enough.
But yeah, so I'm just waiting to hear back from the Steelers. I know they're working out guys. They saw what I could do, and
but you're also looking towards the XFL and seeing that because you believe there's an avenue. And this is what I'm really trying to get at. I'm trying to tell other guys like you that there's another avenue to making it to the league, even including the long snapper for the Steelers right now.
Yeah. Basically, I didn't long snap in college, and so they didn't have any game film of me. And they said they needed film, so I'm going to try to go to the XFL, get some game film, and then make a career out of playing there. And then if I get the chance to go back up again, that'll be awesome, and I'll take full advantage of that. That's the hope, that I can go play in the XFL, get some film, and obviously everybody wants to play in the NFL. Not knocking the XFL or anything, because it was awesome. I enjoyed watching it this year, but obviously the NFL is whatever.
Well, it's the Premier. I got it, but. It's just like for me, I see it as AAA baseball, the same thing. And that's what the XFL is. And there's, due to numbers, the numbers on teams of a 53-man roster, is it? And then the taxi squad, you have the guys on the developmental squad. There's only a certain amount of guys. There's a lot more players that can be playing in the NFL, but because of numbers, that there's not. And so that's and I'm talking to all guys because I think it's so important. So important that you see all these guys in the XFL. Now, there's a time to go ahead and live out your dream and work for your dream, and there's a time to hang it up and say, all right, now I've had my opportunity. And how do you feel about that? Where's it for you?
Honestly, I mean, with being 25 right now, I'm giving it until, if I don't make the XFL, then odds are the NFL is not going to come calling. So I'm pretty much giving it until the XFL season starts, and if that doesn't work out, if I get to play in the XFL and I go through the season and everything, then I'm going to wait until next year. Who knows? I mean, I could get called anytime this season, so Omar Khan told us, he said, if anything happens, you guys, he told us all at the end of rookie minicamp, he said, we know you guys, we've seen how you work you guys a couple of days, we know your skills, so you guys are the ones that we want to call if something happens. I don't want anything to happen to anyone, but it'd be awesome to get a call from that. But basically, if the XFL doesn't work out, then I'll probably have to 25, start making a career out of something else.
And again, you can't control what you can't control.
Exactly.
And so what you can control is your preparation. I keep saying, be prepared for your opportunity. I know coaches have always said, I'm a former coach, I'm a coach. I never give up coaching. It's just who you are in your blood. But you got to be prepared for that opportunity, because if that opportunity comes and you're not prepared, it doesn't usually work out well, and sometimes it's only a one opportunity. Mm-hmm. And just like I tell guys that are on second, third team, hey, one hit, one guy goes down. You don't want that injury to happen, but you got to take your opportunities when you can get them. And that's just the nature of the game. Mm-hmm. Next man up is what they always say, right?
Next man up mentality.
Yeah, next man up mentality. So, again, is what I'm trying to get about football and trust. And, Mike Rollins came out here, and I put him up here before, Mavy, and he was thinking that I'm, talking shade on the Mountaineers. And so, Mike, I just want you to know, buddy. Well, hang on.
Winner,
we got a next winner here at the Parmar Expo.
If Rufus Stanley could head to the Laughing Buddha to see how much money you get.
Rufus Stanley, please head to the booth. He can't hear us.
maybe
I thought that was funny, though. I didn't think that was funny. All right, so we're talking about the Mountaineers and saying is, listen, man, the truth is this, and that is that facts are facts. You got to live with them. Just because you're talking about it, but you got to be realistic. I mean, I sure hope that Neil Brown is realistic about this team and where he's at and what he has to do to win. You can win with this team, but you got to be ready. Okay, what I said, and I talked about it as a sense of urgency. What I wanted to see, when I was watching the spring game, I'll tell you what I want to see. I want to see a bunch of dudes that were going at it and with urgency, knowing that the next time they were going to be in front of a crowd, it was going to be in front of 107,000 screaming people, loud. And I talked about it before, and I'll say it again. It's Penn State, okay? I'm not afraid of Penn State. I played the best teams in the country. I played for a national championship. I'm not afraid. It's not about being afraid, but you better know your opponent. You better know your enemy. And when I say enemy, I'm talking about on the gridiron. You better know it, and you better be prepared. You better know, is my right ankle bad? Is my left elbow bad? What do I got to do? What do I got to compensate? Well, what's our weaknesses here? And that's what I'm talking about. You got to be ready. You got to have a mindset. You got to have an attitude. What I'm trying to say to all that listening distance with me, as far as I can reach, I want you to understand we need to be mentally prepared. No delusions. No, I'm looking at AI simulation game. Because that's not true. That's not life. That's not the breathing Jimmys and Joes, Mav. That is not. It's about that. What's there? What's breathing? What Jimmy, what Joe is going? And how are you that day? There's something you don't know. How are you that day? How are you going to react when the first time that you're out there and you see 107,000 people? How are you going to react? How are you going to play? How do you go above the crowd and the noise, okay, and make less mistakes than the opposing team? Because that's what you got to focus on. You can get all hyped up and you can get jacked up. That's just emotion, man. You got to have full preparation, and that's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say, man, we got to be prepared because this team's got some challenges. Now, back when I played, we played for the national championship. We had challenges then. Mm-hmm. It's all different level, but you got to be able to address it. I mean, what's your thoughts? Come on, man, talk.
Well, you're talking.
I know, I'm on a roll, baby.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of things that go into it, especially with some new guys. I don't know who the quarterback's going to be, but it could be the Nico, his name, right?
Nico Marchio, he could be. It could be Garrett Green.
Could be Garrett Green, still somebody that hasn't played a lot, especially the quarterback.
Well, neither one has played a lot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So what are they going to do? They go in there, right?
That's what I'm trying to get to.
Go for it, brother.
That's what I'm trying to get to. As you know, you can say, oh, this is easy. I'm played football before, but it's different when you step on that college field for the first time and you have grown men trying to kill you across the line. The only thing that's separating you is the snap of the ball. So you don't have time to make mistakes. Maybe you can, your first drive and be like, all right, I got my, butterflies out the way, and then you just got to go. You won't know anything until you do it. So, it's how you react under pressure.
How you react under pressure. All right. I like that. I like hearing that from you. And again, everybody, and Mike, I can tell you this too, Mike. If you want to come on the show here and tell me how you feel, I want, excuse me, I want to hear from Mountaineer Nation. I want you to be able to talk as long as we can all be respectful and happy and good. And you can disagree. It's okay to disagree, and it's okay. But again, I think we're all on the same team of wanting for the Mountaineers to be successful. I know I want my young brothers to be successful. All right, my young brothers, that's what I'm about. But I'm not going to sit here and not tell you what I know and what I see. And I see there needs to be a sense of urgency. We're going to go play a top 5 team, a legit top 5 team, a team that this year they think they got a shot to take out Michigan and to take out, what's the other? Ohio State, excuse me. Yeah, thank you. They think they got a shot at it, and I think they do got a shot at it. I'm not sure how good Ohio State's going to be, but I know that Penn State can run the ball. I know they got a defense that's top dogs, and I know that it's a tough place. I embrace it. I can't wait to go to Penn State and play. You know what I mean?
That'd be an awesome game.
I can't wait. I want to go there, and I want to wear my WV, and I want to be proud. I want to be a proud son of a gun. But go in there and know what you're doing, man, because emotions all whirl up, everything. It's chaos. It's chaos. You can say organized chaos, right?
Yeah.
Because there's a game going on, but it's chaos that if you're not aware, if you're not living in the moment, if you're not living in that situation, it can be gone. It can be gone by.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think, for me as someone that's still playing or just got done playing, I'm thinking about going into there and sitting there waiting to hear the call, and I got 110, whatever it is, that screaming fans, 1,000 screaming fans out there in that stadium. I mean, that stadium's huge. I mean, we've all seen the whiteout game when they play Ohio State at night at home or whatever game it is. I don't know what it is, but they do the whiteout, and that's electric. And I went on a recruiting trip to Penn State when I was in high school, and they were telling me how people camp outside like the day before in tents. It's like a tradition. They go out there, and Coach Franklin said that he would walk out throughout the crowds of college kids out there. It's something that they do, and I don't know, they camp out something weird in the parking lot. This actually sounds exciting. In college, I definitely would have done it. But he goes out there, he hands them waters, he talks to the students and everything, and it's just, they're passionate. So I'm excited to watch the Mountaineers go, because obviously I'm a Mountaineer fan. I have my differences with the Mountaineers a long time ago, but that's fine. It's over with.
Hey, it's time to be a grown-up.
Yeah. And
besides, I raised you better.
Yeah. So it's a really exciting environment. I'm just thinking about trying to hear that play call. I don't know how they call their plays or anything like that. They have a wristband, but I know it's going to be hard. So I think it's a big challenge. It's exciting to me. I'm thinking about it. I would love to go into that situation right now.
Well, where'd you go? You went to Nebraska, and
that was insane.
That was insane.
That was insane.
But what happened? Tell that.
Oh, the lightning struck. First play of the game, we were getting lined up we did the kickoff. We got a touchback. We had a really good kicker.
Okay, Hope Harris, door number 14.
Okay.
Please
Whoa.
head to the Laughing Buddha.
The Laughing Buddha. Is that what you are right here? Laughing Buddha. Rita, what did you almost do? What did you almost do? What did you almost do? You almost broke the camera. Again, dude, you're fired, man.
You're fired until he needs you.
Why do you keep coming back? That's what I want to know.
I just accidentally fell over next to you.
Oh my goodness. All right, so let's go ahead. We'll come back here in a few minutes, but let's finish or do another segment of the Three Wolves of Football, and we'll come back and we'll listen to what the Madman has to say. All right, God bless. There you go. The Three Wolves of Football, All-Pro Commando.
Love others, man.
Yeah.
Respect others.
There you go.
Treat them better than yourself. Right, man?
That's right. You can light somebody up on the football field and help them up. That's the way we're born.
Or you can just light them up in between the white lines and then wait till you walk off the field. And then you can love them up.
This is not a, this could be a mulligan time. We're just because it's Thanksgiving, it's still available there in Pony Boy. I want to know if you want to redo over. This is something from your past. It is during your NFL time, but it is your past. I'm going to tell you this. I think it's kind of cool.
Okay. I'm going to let it ride, Soda Pop.
Well, here we are, Arizona. Wait a minute. Are you Dolph Lundgren or Sylvester Stallone?
Oh, my goodness.
I love it.
I've got that. I've got that poster outside of the garage right now. And it's furled up. It's not, I don't keep that thing unfurled, if you know what I mean.
I don't know. Steffi might like that hanging there, buddy.
Yeah, look a little like a tough guy. But really, what I wanted to get a question out of that is, what was it like?
Wait a minute. No, we wanted to laugh at it first. Come on.
Well, he was pretty red.
Because here's the thing that I love when Dale says to us, do you want to double down? It's something from your past, and we're like,
Right. I'm going to let it stand. I had to say that on that one. I had to say, no, I'm going to let it ride, Soda Bob. I remember doing that, man. That timed up with us moving down here from St. Louis to Phoenix. That's some company said, oh my goodness, who are your biggest stars? And because I was a team captain, they named me as one of the guys. They did it with 3 guys like Stump Mitchell, Bob Clay, myself, and Neil Lomax.
Okay.
Four guys actually did posters right there. And they said, hey, listen, we know you're kind of a kamikaze. That's what they called me, a kamikaze on special teams. So we're going to call you the All-Pro Commando.
And you know what? You've loved it ever since.
You see how red I got? Knock it off, Soda Bob.
Okay. Well, listen, one story that I want you to tell me quickly, or the description is, what is it like to go from one franchise in St. Louis and take that same franchise and move it out to Arizona? I don't know. I've never talked to you about it.
Yeah, no, Soda Pop. It was crazy, man. It was absolutely insane, as a matter of fact. If you can imagine an NFL franchise moving from St. Louis to Phoenix, Arizona. Now, they had, of course, the Arizona Wranglers in the USFL. They had that before, but they never had the National Football League. And we moved out there. And once the announcement was made, they actually flew us out there. They flew us out there for a press conference. And when I say that, I'm talking about the team captains and some of the coaches. They flew us out. It was just incredible. I remember buying a house. And when I bought that house, it was next to Neil Lomax. Neil Lomax bought the house on the corner. I was 2 doors down from him. Bob Clasby was 2 doors down. So suddenly it got out that there was this neighborhood in the foothills, Ahwatukee, in the foothills of Ahwatukee, that there was this neighborhood that actually had a bunch of Cardinals. And man, I'm telling you right now, we got there, and once we were playing games, there would be a line of cars that would come down the street. And we would be eating dinner, of course, in the dining room, which just happened to have a bay window. And these cars would slow down and they would look inside. I kid you not, man. On the weekends, Friday nights and a Saturday night, you would almost be guaranteed of some type of line coming down that street to get a look at the Cardinals. And I got to tell you, it was truly incredible.
Yeah, very excited as I remember it. And I can remember when I played 88 in the Fiesta Bowl down there for the national championship. And then, Derry, you came down with the family, and we had Hoopy, and we all stayed at your house, or rather, I didn't, obviously, I was the team, but, that was a great experience. It was right there in Ahwatukee. We got the experience.
That was a great time, man.
That was a great family, fun time, except for the game. Okay, well, we're going to move on.
There's always the game.
It's always the game, yes. Sometimes it's good, sometimes not so good. Okay, I have to interrupt here. get done with the phone. Go text your friend.
I told you I had to text somebody else.
Well, at work?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you're working now. All right, but listen. So we're here at the Parmar Expo, and I told you there's 100,000, whatever, not 100,000, 100 or 1,000 vendors. A little delusional today. All right, but listen, this teriyaki and snack sticks. This is going in at Parmar stores. How is it?
It was awesome. I was
outstanding. I had to jump in because we talk about food. This is absolutely outstanding right here, and I want everybody to know about it. What? I'm gonna eat one of them. Hey, we got this great Celsius water, sparkling water I have with this. Yeah, don't eat them all. I wanted that. Okay, but there we go. Can you see it? Right there. It's teriyaki. You go to Parmar stores. It's what did it say? It's a small company out of Michigan, a family.
Northern Michigan, yeah.
Well, okay, Northern Michigan. Man, Parmar stores got it going on. And now, back to the Three Wolves. This is actually having fun. And, Derry, with this, now I'm going to go back to this here because this is really something cool. By happenstance, I met a young man and his sister for the football game, and we met them. There he is with you and Pat right there taking a picture. And I want you to know his parents got to go to a Steelers game. He went there, got those tickets at your Chalk Talk. There they are. And sometimes it's just nice to see when you do something and people get to do something really special and how grateful they are. So I want you to see this because it was really cool. Special Olympics. He participates in it. And you guys are just doing really good stuff, man.
It's really nice. Giant Eagle is behind this all. Giant Eagle provides for we have questions, and Pat Fryermuth is just a really great kid, a young man who's I will tell you this, in the future here, when they start talking about the great tight ends in the NFL, his name's going to be in the conversation. But I will say this, he's very engaging with the people. I'm just there to facilitate. He's there, he's the show, but he's so kind to the people, as you saw some of the folks that come out and they have questions, and a great question or the raffle ticket might get you tickets, or a Hyde Park, card, $100 gift certificate to Hyde Park. It's a great steakhouse, right? By the way, they had the Tomlin Tomahawk there, 32-ouncer. I crushed it. All right, but anyhow, regardless,
wait a minute.
Yeah. But the point is, the Giant Eagle doing great stuff at the Market District. He's there every Tuesday night from 7 to 8. So. Doing a great job, and those folks are just wonderful people. They come out. We get a crowd anywhere from 50.
And he just wanted you to know you appreciate it. And he said he's going to give you an earful. All right.
I can only imagine.
Yep. So the next one, and Podium, I want you to start with this. Now we're going to get into a little bit of deep thought here. But this is Christian McCaffrey on multiple sports playing. And it says here, I played 3 or 4 sports as a kid when I was in elementary school and middle school. I never had an off season to train, was always in season. I think playing multiple sports was the best thing I've ever done. Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, you know what, Soda Pop? I love that. I love that from CMC. And it shows up, I think, in his game. He is a guy that isn't one-dimensional in any way, shape, or form. He's multi-dimensional. I think it's so important, especially now in today's youth, where we get so many parents that feel like, I've got to focus my child on one sport only for him to really have a chance of actually making it. I would say expand your mind on that. Think differently on that. Open it up to him. If in fact him or her, if in fact they want to play the sport, the most important thing is they want to play it, not you. You can't play it for them. You can't want them to want to play it the way you used to play it either. You got to let them follow their own heart. Now, listen, is there some nudging and some guidance that's involved in that? Absolutely. But, man, it's just like my son. He's 12 years old right now, loves baseball, loves football, loves basketball, and is playing all 3 of those sports. And back when we were coming up as well, you know what? College coaches used to love to see you play in other sports. They used to love the fact that you would do that. That was usually a plus. They would put it into the positive column, so to speak, and not a negative. But I am I'm acknowledging the fact that times have changed, but I just don't think it's ever a wise thing to do to take a young kid who's developing and say, this is the sport you're going to play and only that sport. I don't think it's good.
No, I agree. And, Jerry, I remember Jerry Angelo coming to your basketball games when you and Lex Luger, Larry Fowl, were playing basketball, and he was the center. He tipped you the ball. I can remember this. I was so young. And then you put up for the game winner, and he was there to watch you play.
Let me just jump in on that because I will tell you, okay? I'll never forget that we're playing Clarence. We were down by 1. We got a jump ball. There was like 5 seconds left. Rod Osterstrom was the center. Rod gives me the nod. I'm standing I got my back to the basket. I'm positioned, where the dotted line is on the foul line. He's at the foul line, right? They got a jump ball. He nods at me, and I go, I don't want the ball. No, I'm not Mike Jordan. I don't want the ball in the last shot. And he looks at me and goes, and I went, and he tipped it to me. I don't know if it ricocheted off my head or I actually turned and put the ball up. It went through the hoop. We won the game. I still don't know how I scored. Somehow I scored. I think more. I think he just bopped it off my head and it popped into the basket.
You know what? I don't believe you because you remember it way too well. I remember Lex Luger being the center and giving you the nod.
No, he was there too. He was positioned the other way. I'm like, you give it to Lex. I don't want it.
By the way, awesome. He was not known as Lex Luger at that time.
No.
Larry Fowl, but God bless him. And Ponyboy, you were pretty good too. I remember you hitting a 45-footer outside of your JV year, JV basketball. We all played different sports. And this is the reason why I brought it up, because honestly, I have a little bit of regret. I think I let my boys go ahead and quit other sports too early.
Really?
Basketball, Stone played basketball. But, with Ozzy, I think that I wanted to do better. And when I was in a radio show with Neil Brown for the head coach at WVU, he said, I want them to play other sports because it builds other muscle memories. Because different sports hit different things. You think about basketball, footwork. You think about wrestling, balance, push-pull, all those benefits that you can get from other sports. So, baseball, hand-eye. I encourage people, if your kids want to play, let them play. Don't just focus on one sport. And that's my spiel.
No, you know what, Soda Pop? I'm so glad you said that right there because you want to talk about a family. Your boys, I'm talking about 3 boys, man. You sit there and talk about those 3 boys that were raised, and 3 of the 4, I should say, unbelievable football players. And all of them getting college scholarships. Think about that. What are the odds of that, Soda?
Yeah, what are the odds of that? No. That's all right, thanks. We are here at Parmar's Stores, the Expo. And what do you think of that? What do you think of that with what these guys are talking about, playing all kinds of sports? I know Neil Brown really wanted players to play all kinds of sports and not just be one. That's an interesting point. I want to jump in there and just throw that out there. If anyone's out there, man, because I think it's important. You could talk a whole couple hours just on that. Is baseball, what does baseball do for you? Wrestling, basketball, all those things. How does that enhance you? How does football enhance you for another sport? I mean, you could throw it around, you can reverse it and all those things, but how does that work? I mean, think about it. And, again, this is Thursday, so we're only going Monday through Thursday. And we are here at the Parmar Expo. I finished the teriyaki snack sticks. They're just pure beef, man. That was absolutely awesome. All kinds of stuff here at Parmar Stores. Parmar Stores, 5 states that are going to be going into their 6th state in the very near future. The WolfMan's Call, sponsored. You see the 3 Wolves of Football are sponsored by Parmar Stores. It's just great people to be associated with. When you think about Brian Wall, think about Milo Ritten. I mean, just Tim Redshaw over there on the petroleum side. Just good people, and they're serving their community, and that's why I'm here at the Expo. Proud to be here. We'll be back at home base next week, and we're going to be going, I believe, at 4 o'clock next week. So get ready. We're going to load up. We're going to start breaking down some film, and I think it'll be cool. And I'm going to go ahead and play the rest of the Three Wolves of Football. I want to reintroduce that for the season 2 coming up. So I'm going to play clips. It won't be the whole thing like we're doing today, but we're going to go ahead and just roll that because I really think it's a good show, and I think there's a lot of wisdom there. And I'm not just talking about myself. If I can, I just direct that to my brothers and say there's a lot of football wisdom, a lot of wisdom in life that we bring it in a family sense of style. And so I think there's something to be said about it. I think it's worth a while for her to listen. That's my pleasure. So let's finish up with the Three Wolves of Football, All-Pro Commando, and I'll come back and close it off.
You know you're the stud of the family. That's true, too. That's true, but I guess still, it's not like I've sired nothing but studs.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. I think all of our kids are studs, and
amen.
It's fantastic people in this family on this happy Thanksgiving. We're going to keep it rolling. This is, again, football related and is so doggone cool. And I know y'all know it, man, because you got some special stories to tell. Little Thanksgiving. Oh, look who it is. Look at refrigerator.
Oh,
the fridge, man. Look at him move.
Yeah,
look at him go.
Wow.
Incredible.
And I saw this and I remember the stories you guys had. And
yes.
I just want to share because a happy Thanksgiving. I think of him eating. I think of a refrigerator. So Bonnie boy, what's your story?
Look, man. Look, I'm just going to say this quickly, all right? It was game 3 of the preseason in 1985. The Chicago Bears had drafted William the Refrigerator Perry. They had drafted him in the first round, and he had just signed his contract 2 days before we traveled up to Chicago to play at Soldier Field. It was the fourth quarter, and as you know, especially in that third preseason game, there's a lot of rookies that are out playing in that fourth quarter. Well, I was out there, and it was a 2-minute timeout. We were all backed up at our end. We were on our own, I think, 11 or 12-yard line, and suddenly Ditka grabs the fridge. William the Refrigerator Perry, who had just signed 2 days before, runs him, pushes him onto the field. Soldier Field explodes, just absolutely explodes. And all of a sudden, I'm in the huddle, and all the offensive linemen, their eyes are like this, because we called him the man of perpetual motion. He came running onto the field, guys. He was 6'3", 385 pounds at this point in time. He was out of shape. Ditka was all PO'd about it, out of shape, and it was one of the reasons why he was going to throw him out there just to get him onto the field. 385 pounds. He came running onto the field. And we called him the man of perpetual motion because even when he was standing still, there was stuff that was still moving on him, right, all over. I mean, the people at Johns Hopkins, they would follow him around and wait for junk to fall off him because there's stuff on him that we don't have, guys. I'm just telling you. Anyways, my first assignment, right, very first play that I'm in, there's the fridge. It's check the outside linebacker. If he drops into coverage, turn inside. I got a dual read myself. Turn inside on the Mike linebacker. And if he is not blitzing, check down over the ball. Well, you know what happened? I looked outside to the outside linebacker. He dropped off into coverage. I turned inside, and here he comes. Stop free. Right up the middle, 6'3", 385 pounds. And I use this as an object lesson to a lot of the kids when I go and I talk to them and I say to them, you know what? I remember for a split second thinking in my head, I don't care how big you are. I don't care how fast you are. I don't care if you are the man of perpetual motion. I'm going to bust you right here. Now, it doesn't matter what happened after. All you need to know is that I said that in my heart. I'm going to bust you right here, and I did. But I'll
True
tell you
Wolfley
what,
passion.
man, he picked me up, guys, and he carried me 5 yards in the air and dumped me on my back at the feet of the quarterback. But that wasn't it. It wasn't done. I'm laying on my back at Soldier Field. I'm thinking to myself, man, I can't see anything. I can't hear anything. I can't feel anything. Ron, you passed out. You got knocked out on. And then I thought, wait a minute. No, I wouldn't be having these thoughts if I actually got knocked out. What had happened was the fridge had landed on top of me.
Oh.
And the biggest part of his anatomy, that being his gut, wrapped right around my face. But guys, I just got to tell you, from that point on, man, the veteran players from that third preseason game on, the veteran players started looking at me, putting their arm around me, saying, "Kid, you're okay, man."
Yeah.
True story.
Kid, you're okay, Reno. Reno, you guys all know Reno. Let's talk about this. The camera, it's about $10,000. And all the price keeps going up as I talk the story. It was $8,000, now it's $10,000. Exactly. What were you doing?
I was trying to help you.
You're trying to help me.
Back and forth.
How are you trying to help me when you're knocking the camera down?
Well, you know what I was doing? I was giving Maverick a chance to be a star.
By knocking the camera down?
He caught that thing down. He caught it way at the bottom. Thank God the kid saved my life today.
Oh, I'll tell you what, boy, you would have been bummed, wouldn't you?
I would have been bummed.
All right, so we got Reno Bellamy here at the Expo. Reno, you're with Champion Industries, Chapman Printing, and Stationeers.
Yep, Stationeers,
yep. What is it? It's the largest office supply.
The largest office supply company in West Virginia. The service is always in stock.
Always in stock.
Am I not far enough?
Yeah, well, I don't know.
You gotta talk real into that thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know how you do this all day. This is crazy to me.
Why is it crazy? You're sitting there.
It feels uncomfortable.
Well, what's uncomfortable?
The camera's looking at me.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
I hate it.
Why?
I don't know. I don't like it.
You don't like looking at yourself?
No.
You don't like other people looking at you? Well, I'll tell you, you're supposed to be a good sidekick. That's why you keep getting fired.
I try to get fired.
Yeah, you know what? All right, so real quick, tell us about Parmar stores, this expo.
Oh, this is an expo for their vendors. They have a lot of good people here. All their managers come out. And they meet the folks that put stuff in their stores or people that service them, and it's kind of a good thing, You get together. The golf tournament was fantastic. The show last night was good. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, is he like 75 years old?
Your son. How old is your son?
He's 25.
25. He was fangirling up there.
You don't want to say that right there.
No, he's too big for me. But not kidding. He got the
guitar pick.
Guitar pick.
Hey, you know what, man?
After Hotel California,
yeah,
he threw the guitar picks.
I mean, how many guitars do you think he used?
6, 7.
6 or 7.
All I know is I saw Maverick, the wolf pup. I know he won't let me call him that, but he's your pup, buddy. And he just reached his hand out of nowhere. Whole crowd, and bam, grabs the guitar pick.
He did. I mean, it was like, I didn't know if he pushed someone out of the way.
I didn't know that he likes the guitar. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, he plays guitar.
I did not push anybody out.
Maverick's over there. Maverick's over there, side of doing your job for you.
He's doing your job. You're doing a good job.
What's your initials?
It's RB.
Okay, I just put an R and then I kind of scribbled something.
That's perfect.
You're okay. Don't worry about it.
Perfect.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go write a check to a bank. You're all right.
No, don't do that.
I think this checkbook over here.
You got a great kid.
RB, yeah.
Is he good at the guitar?
He's getting better.
He didn't tell me he was good. He just
all of a sudden now he's turned into a guy that loves Slash. Now here's a guy who's loved Slash all his life.
Dude,
now he's turned into Slash.
He knew some stuff.
I know
he knew
he's
some
good.
stuff.
You stay right over there. You're doing the job for over there. No, you stay away.
Yeah.
You had your time. Your time. It's done for the day. All right. So
You gotta put your pups down a little bit. Put your pups down.
He got to control him, man. You got to know how to control him. The wolf.
They grow up to be wolf men.
Whatever you do not go ahead and break that down, because Reno almost took everything down anyway. You know what? The funny thing is that if you didn't catch that camera, how much do you think that camera would have cost to be fixed? $10,000, $12,000?
Actually, Kathy would have killed me. I'm not
$12,000.
afraid of the wolf men. I'm afraid of her.
You should be.
I don't want to.
Hey, go do it. Look right there.
Oh, I got to go back to work.
No, not you, him.
Oh, he's going to make him do it?
All right, so what do you got to say here? What's on your mind?
Nothing.
Because remember, you talked to Greenbrier. Just get your
me
piece.
on the Greenbrier. I said I'd never come back. Here I am.
They put your booth next to mine.
Something. Did you ask him to do that?
What?
To put my booth
I'm not saying anything. No, but you know why? Because someone had to learn how to set up the microphone. You screwed that up. You screwed up Maverick's microphone. I mean, it's like unbelievable. My tech guy stinks.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Well, here we go. We are done. And we're going to finish out here with the three wolves of football. I wanted to bring Reno in before because he's doing such a great job here at the Parmar Expo. And you're getting a lot of people interested.
I want to hear the people that watch your show say that they want me to be on here because I feel like you're going to lose listeners.
It doesn't matter. We lose listeners every day. We gain them and we lose them. It's like me at the casino. Win some and I lose some.
You were up for like a minute.
That was a minute, yeah. And that was, you know what? All my peers were peer pressure.
They were
double down, double down.
All in, all in.
All right. Well, guys, here we go. Finish up the three wolves of football. Again, August, maybe even the end of July. Whenever training camp starts, probably be the first week that we go. Season 2. What did you think of the three wolves of football?
That's a great show. I mean, I think it's awesome.
Are you just saying because you're next to me right now?
No. I'm not afraid. I love the show. I do. I think you guys are so good. Yeah. I love the stories. I mean, it's the stuff that's outside of football is so good. It's like funny. It's hard. You can't make it up. You can't make it up. What, your one brother was the sumo wrestler? You can't make that up, bro.
No, you can't. That was the world's strongest man contest.
World's strongest man.
You know, and that's what people say you can't make up. When people see you on here, like, you don't think, like.
Yeah, I bet it is.
Right? You don't think you're funny.
Hey, I have a face for radio.
But the reality is, people are like, I'm not funny, but you are funny for that.
Not funny.
All right, here we go. The three wolves of football. We'll finish up here. Reno Bellamy. I love that story, and I saw the fridge and thinking about that. Or you got anything?
Oh, no, I played against him several times. It's he's huge. He's a load. He's great. He was a great competitor. I remember when we played at Soldier Field one time, and I punched him on a pass protection, passed him off to Ray Penny. I tackle, and I guess Ray cut him, and all of a sudden Ray dislocated his shoulder because the fridge fell on him. So we went back in the huddle, and I remember sitting there going, "Okay, important safety tip, man: don't cut the fridge. Don't cut them." You know,
don't have them fall on you.
You don't want to do it. Yeah.
All right. Well, good. I'm glad I got that in because I've been actually holding back on that for a few weeks to get that story there.
Who was scary there was Singletary. Singletary.
Oh, yeah.
Was amazing. All right. So I will tell you, when we played one time up at Soldiers Field, I'm watching film the week before. We have 14 lead C. You're going to have Mike Webster's going to block back on the fridge. I'm going to pull around and lead up on Singletary. Okay. All week long, I'm looking at. I wrote my note. I got a notebook downstairs somewhere because I used to write notes all the time in the meetings. And the note was, "Don't look at Singletary. He's going to Jedi. He's going to suck the brain right out of you, right? He's going to tractor beam it because he's got those eyes, you know." And he's like, "Whoa!" And I'm just saying. I wrote a note to myself: "Don't look up. Don't look up at him because he'll know you're coming." And I remember they called the play in the huddle around the second quarter, okay? So we break the huddle. We come to the line of scrimmage, and I got my head like, blah, 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 I just see Fridge and everybody, but I can see Singletary over his shoulder, right? Get into my stance, and I'm thinking to myself, don't look up. And all of a sudden I looked up, and it was like, oh! You know what he did? He tractor beamed it. Boom! I came around the corner. Pow! He was right in my grill. I mean, it was just like boom, boom. I got to tell you, Mike Singletary was just a great player.
Wait a minute, though. Soda Pop, I'm sorry. I know you got a schedule you're getting to, but I got to follow this up because I played against Sing Sing as well. But when I first showed up in 1985 and when we were playing the Chicago Bears, the running back room was a buzz because of Sing Sing is what they called him. Mike Singletary, right? They called him Sing Sing because it was like you were doing time when you played against him. Because he owned you. I mean, it was bad, man.
We had some real battles, man.
That was his nickname.
Yeah.
Well, all I was going to say is that, Derek, you just had to look up. They told you not to, but you couldn't help yourself.
I couldn't help myself.
All right. Well, and that goes to maybe for this next part because I really like this, and we've always talked about this, watching character on film. And, Bonnie, you brought this out actually this week.
In the National Football League, I also, Basin Reigns, I can't help it, man. You've heard me say it over and over and over again. If you watch a man play the game of football from the snap to the whistle, all you do is watch him play the game of football from the snap to the whistle. It will reveal an awful lot about that man's character.
Yep.
Now, I know you feel that we all know that, but go ahead, man. Just talk about it.
Yeah, once again, you guys know what a special place the game of football holds to all of us, of course. And I think what so many people forget is, especially in the NFL level, because it's always money, 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 money. Everyone is always talking about money. So much of the time, it's a test as well. And you guys know my own personal psyche and the way that I played and how I felt. It was always, are you as tough as your father? Are you as tough as your father? Because we're going to find out right here. And yet I know it's so true. When you watch somebody play the game, don't take your eyes off them. Just don't do it. Watch them over and over and over again. And I think the greatness of the game is that it reveals so much about you as a person. And are you tough? Are you smart? Are you stupid? Doing dumb things when you shouldn't do it out on the field, right? And getting stupid penalties, of course. I mean, there's a lot of things that somebody can look at you and say, wow, this guy must be a pretty smart guy, or this guy must be a pretty tough guy, or this guy, you know what, I like the way he treats everybody on the field. Whatever it may be, it reveals your character. That's why it's a great game.
Right. Absolutely. You can even take that, and this is one of the things that bothers me about the NFL, really. They take out Oklahoma. They take out a lot of the one-on-one drills that, it was really character building. Let me tell you something. When I walked into training camp at St. Vincent College in 1980, I was looking at Murderer's Row across from me, Mean Joe Green and, the rest of the crew there. I mean, this was a devastating defense. And, you got to make your bones amongst the men. And one of the things that was always a tell was how you reacted in the Oklahoma drills, the one-on-one, or the backs-on-backers, where the backs are picking up the blitzing linebackers. And you can tell a lot by watching the guys who engage. They don't always have to win, but where's the fight? And do they win with technique, or do they turn into brawlers? Because the thing about it is, anybody can brawl, okay? But if you get your butt whipped in front of everybody and you have the temerity to hold together, come up for your second rep, because you always get a second rep, right? And come back and work your technique and merge successfully. Now, that's a guy that's got an upside. The guys that can't go with technique, that just make it a brawl, they're not going to last long, because they're always going to be at that level. And the other stuff that's a tell is, like, who really wants it? You see the guys that they go to the back of the line, they're tying their shoe, they're getting taped, they're talking to the trainer, they're getting a drink. They're not interested in coming out in front of their peer group, But I was always, for myself, I love that. I want to be that. Let me do it. You know what I mean? That's the nature of how you build who you are. And it's right along what you're talking about, Ronnie.
Yeah, Soda Pop, how do you feel about that, though? How do you feel about this?
Well, I think that you can't have fear of failure. I think you just have to be able to lay it on the line. Because if you have fear when you're going into that, that's going to hold you back from building that character, as we're all talking about. But let me just go one step further, my brothers. When I was a coach, I came up with a new theory. And I believe that everything about watching the film, everything, does he go to the whistle, what type of character? But here's the true test of everything. And I learned this at Phoenix College there, Pony Boy. And it was when a guy comes in and he looks like, this dude looks like a Tarzan. He looks like a Tarzan. Like, yeah, this guy just came walking in out the street. He's going to come and play for me. All right, let's go. Let's go get a helmet, man. And listen, I want you to pick out your face mask. And every time they went in there, and if I had this big old bad dude who looked like Tarzan, and you know what I'm talking about, Pony, but he went and he picked out a running back's face mask. And I knew that he was going to be a Jane. You know what I mean? I knew he was.
That's so true.
Tarzan looks like Tarzan, play like Jane. And you know what? It's all about the face mask. How can you get serious if you're going to go with a running back? I mean, it's a true story. I'm telling you, it worked almost down to the 100%. I knew exactly what I was getting. And that's my theory, and I'm sticking with it. And now we're going to go to a guy who really knew the theories. And I love this. So last week, Pony Boy, it was about, your old coach, Bill Belichick. Oh, theory, I was thinking, man, we got so many sayings and quotes from Chuck Noll that I wanted to go ahead and look at. And this is what I came up for this week. And Chuck Noll, God bless him, in 2014, he has passed on. But he says, some coaches pray for wisdom. I pray for 260-pound tackles. They'll give me plenty of wisdom. And this really just goes back to an older school age saying, I need the Jimmies and Joes, no matter what your philosophy is. You have all the best wisdom in the world. If you don't have the players to make it happen, he knew that way back then. Now, he's saying 260-pound tackles. It's gone up a little bit now, but that was the premium back then.
And Chuck truly believed, it doesn't matter the size. You bring me the athlete, I'll build a player. And that was really his whole mindset. He could teach anybody. I mean, the thing that Coach Noll was that was so awesome was that he could coach the D-backs, the kicker, long snapper, offensive line, quarterback. He could coach anybody, and he was really just one of those guys that was instrumental in my life, totally changed the trajectory of my life. But that's a little bit of the Nollism, and there's a lot of them, and we could sit here all night and start going along with Nollisms, but that's the respect I have for Coach Noll because he was truly something special in my life.
Yeah, can I just say also as well, I totally agree with that assessment, Soda Pop. I mean, that is an old school mentality. That is a traditional mentality. Bill Belichick believes it's the player, not the play. He believed that. And it's interesting because the traditional offense that we're seeing right now is being blended with the new age offense, of course, the spread offense. And these two worlds were colliding, I think, at one moment and clashing at one moment. And now they're trying to blend the two. And I think you would probably agree with this, Craig, that there is a blending that is going on at the National Football League level. Yet at the same time, there is some tension. And the tension is over, is it the player or is it the play? Is it the play or is it the player? And I think that is still got to be worked out in the NFL. There are some coaches, I believe, that still think it's more about the play than it is the player. And there are some coaches that believe it's the player and not the play. And I think they're trying to reconcile this right now in the NFL, and it's still up in the air. But I think the blending of the two is squarely on.
There's no question in my mind. I think you got a great point. But I do believe in that saying. It's not the X's and O's, it's the Jimmies and the Joes.
Yeah.
That's the truth of the matter. And that goes back to what I was trying to last week when I was trying to talk to you guys about when I was talking about the Yoda stuff. It wasn't about not trying. It's about the result. And the finality is you either get the job done or you don't. You have these schematics that are drawn up. And one of the things that Chuck would do was he'd always work with you on technique. But if you took the man out of the play, well, if you did everything but mug him and didn't get caught, so be it. You know what I mean? That's the nature of the beast. And all I'm just trying to say was that's the finality of it, though. The summation of a play is guys that either get the job done or they don't. And that's where it comes from, you know.
Well, I would say I would agree, because when you go against, let's say, Lawrence Taylor, I think it's about the Jimmy and the Joe. When you go against my guys from Phoenix College who wear face masks, they're defensive linemen like a running back, it's more about the play. That's
okay, I think you summarized it perfectly.
Okay, Soda, we get it, buddy. We get it. It really bothered you.
That is so funny.
You know, and with that being said, let's go ahead. Not a great week for the two of you with your teams.
Yeah.
Tony, I'm going to start with you. You know, what did you say to me? Hola? When you were in Mexico City? I hope you didn't drink the water, but, you know, just a brief, you know, didn't work out, but let's talk about the Chargers as well, though.
Yeah. Let me just say, you know, the San Francisco 49ers right now, they're looking really, really good. And especially on the line of scrimmage, they're very good. They're such a physical team offensively, and they're a physical team defensively. It was interesting because that first half was played very, very close to the vest. It was a competition. There's no doubt about it. The problem is in the second half, it got sideways on them, and it became more about a coronation at that point in time and not a competition anymore. And the battle was lost, in my opinion, on the line of scrimmage, offensively and defensively. The Cards could not run the ball. They tried to, but the San Francisco 49ers front seven, guys, is the best front seven for my money in the National Football League.
All right. Well, he's talking about the best seven there in San Francisco. He was pretty close to it. But now we're getting into what happened by week, so we can go ahead and avoid that. But listen, the Three Wolves of Football, it's on Spotify. It's also Spotify. It's on the YouTube channel called The Three Wolves of Football. You can get all 22 episodes on Spotify or on YouTube. Man, what do you think? You're about ready to close this out now. You see all this going on here. What do you think? This is pretty cool the last 2 days, huh?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I was walking around. There's a lot of cool stuff. There's a lot of that beef jerky place that we were talking about earlier. Is really good.
The beef jerky was really good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And Reno, look at him. He's over there eating a sandwich again. Jeez, like there's not enough stuff to eat around here. Now you got to get the free lunches.
Yeah, there's a ton of stuff around there. I mean, there is a million, half of them are either beef jerky, alcohol, or some type of candy.
Well, right.
Some bad combos for the body.
Yeah, well, you know what? We're staying healthy. We're about ready to go ahead and get out of here. But I think what a treat it's been. I want to thank Brian Wall, president of Parmar Stores. I want to thank Tim Redshaw, who's president of Parmar Petroleum. And then, of course, Milo Ritten, who's the owner and the one that gives out the Ritten family of scholarships. And just going out and doing good stuff for West Virginia. It's been a pleasure the last 2 days. I've learned a lot. And I've learned also that Reno, he's fired. He's done. It's over. Get that free sandwich, because enjoy it, because that's all you're getting from around here.
Reno will be back because we know Dad would struggle without us.
That's a struggle with or a struggle without. All right, guys. Well, listen. Hey, that's it for the Wolfman's Call. Getting more into it, we'll do some film breakdown next week. We're going to have, of course, some great guests coming in, some of my brothers. Let's not forget about Aaron Beasley, Randy Moss, Aaron Beasley, and Jim Carlin are up for the National Football Foundation Hall of Fame. You can go to nationalfootballfoundation.org. You can join $60. You can get a vote. The reason why West Virginia lacks much of not having a lot of guys in the College Football Hall of Fame is because we don't have people signed up to make a difference. So if you want to make a difference, that's all you have to do is you go to nationalfootballfoundation.org, and you join up. So how important is that? I mean,
Very important.
you know, it's just like guys are not getting into the College Football Hall of Fame because we have nobody voting for them. All right. So, a lot to be said by Maverick. Okay, guys, everybody, have a great weekend. Let's go, Mountaineers. Let's go. Let's figure it all out. And we're out of here. The Wolfman's Call is out from Marietta, Ohio.